it down a little bit, but today I feel like this message is really going to help somebody. And it may even open your eyes to something that you desperately need in your life. I titled this message, Empty Jars Full of Skittles. Are you intrigued? Empty jars full of Skittles. Where are all the candy people? You love candy. All the candy lovers in the room. That's awesome. I got a buddy of mine. He loves candy so much that anytime he goes to the gas station, he doesn't just get gas, but he goes inside and gets a candy bar every single time without fail. That's how much he loves. He loves candy. How about you? You love candy that much? When you go to the movie theater, what do you get? You get popcorn or you get candy? Where are the candy people? You got to have your candy. You got to have, sweet tooth people. You got to have it. You got to have the candy. You prefer candy over cake, which is crazy to me. You prefer candy over ice cream, which is crazier to me. I met some people who would prefer candy over steak. They're like, give me a bag of gummy bears and you keep your ribeye. And I'm like, every single day I'll make that deal. Like, are you kidding me? You love candy that much? People really are crazy about their candy. And I was doing a lot of research this summer in preparation for student summer camp, and I ran across a list that gave the top 10 candies from Halloween last year, 2020. Now, let me give the disclaimer. Halloween 2020 was a weird Halloween. I think we all know that. Like, it was just weird, all right? And so maybe the stats on this unscientific survey aren't really holding true for all of Halloween's, but certainly for last year. I brought the list for you. The top 10 candies from last year's Halloween. This is in order now. This is in order. Number 10 came in as Jolly Ranchers. I know, I'm shocked too, y'all. I'm like, what? Like, that's gross. Like, how did they even, like, you're going to lose a filling if you put a Jolly Rancher in your mouth. Like, how did that even get on the list? I don't know. Number 9 were Hershey Kisses. I like them too. I like them for Valentine's Day. That's weird for Halloween, you ask me, but that's they're there. Number 8, you'll appreciate Sour Patch Kids. Number 8, favorite Halloween candy. That one kind of makes sense. Number 7, come on somebody, Snickers. Snickers made number 7. Yeah, I knew you'd like that one. Now the next 2, they're going to blow your mind. They're going to blow your mind. And the only rationale I can come up with as to how these next 2 candies made the list is that it was Halloween 2020 and everybody had COVID, so nobody could taste. All right, that's the only way. These 2 made the list because number 6 and number 5 were candy corn and hot tamales. Number 6 and number 5. I'm like, gross. Like, where's the Milky Way? Where's the Twix? I mean, really, seriously? This is crazy. Number 4, M&Ms. Let's go, M&Ms. That's what I'm talking about. Now, I don't know. Were they the original M&Ms? I'm not sure. Were they the peanut M&Ms? Were they have you had these? The peanut butter M&Ms? Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. They're like straight from heaven, like some little fat, bald angel baby poops them out and just delivers them straight to us. They're awesome. It's like, give me more of those. It's incredible. Number 3, Starburst. I guess that kind of makes sense. Starburst. I kind of expected to be Kit Kats, but whatever. And number 2, the world famous Reese Peanut Butter Cup. Number 2, I knew you'd love it. Number 1, I don't know how you feel about this. Number one, most preferred candy of Halloween 2020 were Skittles. Skittles. I thought you'd get a little more fired up. Honestly, I mean, thank you. It's not every Sunday you get a sermon on Skittles, but that list is really what inspired today's message. Because wouldn't you like to have a jar full of Skittles? I mean, wouldn't that be awesome? Let's just assume for illustrative purposes today that this jar is representative of your life. Now, wouldn't it be great if you had today a jar full of Skittles, not just a few Skittles or a handful of Skittles, not just a little snack bag of Skittles, but wouldn't it be awesome? Oh, there's a few more. Wouldn't it be awesome if you actually had a jar full of Skittles? Of course it would be. Everybody would love a jar full of Skittles. But what if I told you today that you're settling for too little? That life has lulled you and disappointments have conditioned you and culture has convinced you to settle for too little in your life. Too little of what? Well, too little of God. Too little of what he wants for you. Too little of the wind that he wants to blow into your life. Too little of his plans. Too little of his word. Too little of his work. Too little of his miracles that you're settling. Too little for him. Now, I know some of you are like, oh, this sermon just took a weird twist because we were having a lot of fun a minute ago with all those candies, and now you're talking about God and having too little of him. But isn't this really how most of our lives look? You're living with just a little bit of God. Just a little bit of God. You come to church and you get a little bit of God. You go to group once a week, you get a little bit of God. You say a prayer before meals and you get a little bit of God. You listen to a little bit of worship music. You read a little bit of the Bible. You consider God a little bit in the decisions you make. You think about God a little bit throughout your week. This is the way most of us live. Most of us live our lives walking around tired and defeated and depressed and in despair. And we live for Friday nights and we count down the days until our next day off. And we're just going through the motions with a little bit. In fact, most of us walk around with just a few Skittles in our jar, like, well, that's all there is. And I'm going to say it a little more directly now because my wife, Tabitha, she sometimes fusses at me and she's like, hey, I appreciate the fact you use all these cute little analogies and word pictures and visuals and illustrations, but sometimes people are literal people. Like they need like They need it direct. They need it straight. They need you to connect the dots. So this is for all the literal people in the room today. This is not a sermon about Skittles. Just so you know. Some of y'all are like, what book of the Bible are Skittles in, you know? It's the book of Second Hesitations, chapter 15. But anyways, this is a sermon about a fresh wind that God wants to blow into your life. And way too many of you are living with way too little of God, and you're okay with it. Like this is the way it's supposed to be. Like this is normal. Like you don't really need any more God. Like you can just make it through with just a little bit of God. Like you can get by with just a little bit, with the few Skittles that you have. But I need everybody to understand something today. God doesn't do few. God always does full. That's the way God works.